Good morning, everybody. Roy Tabora here at my studio on the North Shore of Oahu, up in Pupukea. And with me, as usual, is Ann Wood, our GM, but she's also the producer and director of all these studio sessions that we do. She's the one that fields your questions and whatnot. Say hi, Ann.
Good morning. Hello.
All right. And we don't have Mary Jean today.
She'll join us Friday.
Yeah, she's washing our cars. So, no, I'm just kidding. She will never do that.
She's climbing Cocoa Head this morning.
Is that what she's doing?
Yeah, she's climbing
Holy
Cocoa Head.
mackerel.
Such a tough little trail.
Well, now it made me feel bad. All I'm doing is sitting and painting.
Then she's going to wash our cars.
All right, okay. Anyway, I hope you guys had a wonderful celebration of our independence. And that whatever patriotic sense you have was revisited and appreciated to the extent that it should be, because like I said on my post, even though we have a lot of things to work out in our country, it does not take away, in my opinion, from the fact that we are the greatest country on this planet. And but you know what? We're not perfect, but luckily you don't have to be perfect to be great, right? You always just have to be wanting to strive to do better and be better, and aiming for your best version of yourself, even as a country, right? So anyway, we can look back at our achievements and feel good about those, and also realize at the same time that we got a ways to go. So let's keep going. All right, we're on our way. And so in that, with that said, we're going to keep going on this painting that we started a few days ago. It's a 30 by 40 inch canvas, or 40 by 30 if you want to be a purist of how you say your sizes. And I've given it a little bit of thought as far as the composition is concerned. Here's my boss.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Here you go.
And I decided I'm going to change a little bit more of the minor changes, but in real time, it's a good thing, because that's the way things really work. You know, I mean, you think it's good until you realize that it's not as good and it could be better. So, and then once you know that, you should make an attempt to make it better. Don't just get you know what, I already started it this way, let's just continue. I think that is not the best attitude that you can have, because you're basically stunting your growth. You're not keying on opportunities to grow, okay? And that's not good for you, right? So even if it presents a little bit more work, or it takes you away from what you want to do for a little while longer, I think it's worth it, all right? Because you need growth, okay? And at some point, you know, you will kind of minimize that, and or if you did have to do it, you won't be so stressed out about it, right? Because you've done it so many times, it's no big deal. All you're doing now is just reacting to what you believe is going to be the better way to go, all right? So with that said, I wanted to address this area here, because I'm going to do the mountains today if I can. I'm not as happy as I was when I first did this part right here, because these two lines kind of converge, right? And even though that can happen, I kind of want to make it so that it's not so lined up, all right? I want to vary that a little bit. I might change this guy a little bit, maybe just cut it off right here, all right? And then maybe change this guy here a little bit too. So I will go ahead and do that.
All right. It's going to be a fun day. I like the change.
Yeah. It's embrace change, right? You want to do that.
So you got a little paint thinner.
Paint thinner and raw sienna.
That is the color du jour for this paint.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just so that I can maintain consistency with what I've used so far.
Oh, that's hot coffee.
It is, yeah.
Shorter cup cools better.
All right, I think that's good right there.
Oh, look at that, a whole new line.
And then I'll probably dispense with this guy here. I think that'll look so much better. Okay, and I might get rid of this little guy here too.
Boy, this is kind of fun. I've never really seen, obviously, the whole process, but when we were doing the blue painting, you kind of already knew what it was, and it was coming as you wanted it.
We didn't change, right? And that's the ideal way, right? That you get what you want right off the bat. But this is a good illustration of sometimes you don't. And when you don't, it's no big deal. You can change it, right? And then proceed from there, right? Because you're always trying to go with the best way to go,
I like
right?
it.
And this just illustrates. Don't worry about if you don't get it right the first time. I don't always get it right the first time, but what counts is the finished product, right? Once you get it there, then you can actually look back at how you get there, and maybe you might even admire yourself for having, found your way when you seemingly were lost for a little while. But that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Okay. So let's see. Do we want to do anything here at all? I don't think so. Maybe. Oh yeah, maybe we could. Maybe we could do this. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. All right. Okay, so what we're doing is, where's that brush? There it is. What we're doing is we're putting in the darks first, yeah. So, but we're progressively cutting the chroma down, right? The brightness of it. It's not very evident here, but once I rework this area, it will. It's what is it? Indigo and white, right? Is our base, and then I warm it up with some reds, right? But that gray will start to lighten as we go further back, right? So we don't want it to come forward because this is what's forward, right? And so that's a good way to create that illusion of depth, which for painters such as myself, that the chosen genre is landscape seascapes, which for the purposes of wanting to evoke emotions from the images, one of the things that is necessary for that is for the viewer to be convinced of depth so that they can get into the painting, because if they don't, if they're not 100% sold on the image that's in front of them, and by sold I mean there's something in the imagery that gets in the way of them appreciating the energy of that painting. Okay, you don't want that. You don't want that. It's like the painting is getting in the way of itself, right? So it's best that you always keep that in mind, right? So that you're always not mindful that you don't get in the way. All right. Okay. So let's do that. And as usual, if you have any questions, or answers, comments, whatever it may be, go ahead and share it with Ann. And if she doesn't know the answer, she'll ask me. And if I don't know the answer, we'll tell you a joke to make up for the fact that we don't know the answer. And I'm using some manganese violet as well with the indigo. And that looks very blue, so we will add some red to it and warm it up. There you go. Let's see how that is. That's still kind of good. Oh, okay, that's better. Okay, and now we will work it all the way up to the edge. Okay. That looks good. You know, this edge doesn't have to be sharp, yeah. And in fact, it looks better when it's not sharp, because it's leaves, yeah. So they're gonna be a little erratic, which is perfect. All right, that's what you want.
You had a viewer write in about the mall stick.
I answered it.
Yeah, what did you tell him?
That it was, well, he asked what or how we made it, where we got it, or how we made it, if it was homemade. And this is homemade, and it's a 3/4 inch diameter dowel, right, that I joined at the two ends with a rabbit joint, and can be secured with little screws I mean, it's glued together, right? And you know, perhaps the glue would be enough.
Not if I handled it.
That's true.
I am kind of
That's
snappy.
true. It's like you have not met anything that you couldn't break, and that's admirable on one level. Unless you're trying not to break anything, then.
This morning, Rick finds a tiny, tiny piece of glass by the refrigerator, and he goes, "Did something break?" But luckily,
No, there's a good answer for that, right? I mean, I was like, what do you think? You think that came naturally like that? What other options do I have? I love multiple choice.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault this time. I don't know. We had
your fault.
Some unexpected momentarily company joined us momentarily for just a moment enough to drop something plastic, so it could have broke. It could have been a piece of plastic, but I chose not to investigate.
Well, then the answer is I don't know.
I chose to get out of the house before I was in trouble for breaking something. So you're doing that this pretty gray color, so you can see the difference of what you're blocking in back there?
No. This is actually the base that I am going to detail later on.
Oh, it's like the bottom a little bit, yeah.
The bottom.
The bottom of your mountain range has that same color filtered in a little bit?
I mean, I start out with grays. Yeah. This is really dark. This is not as dark. This is even less dark.
Gotcha.
Right? So that's what this is. And then at some point, it cannot remain flat like this, so I will put details. Okay. And then we will do this. Okay, so now we're headed towards the area towards the sun. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna warm this up a little bit, and so that we, kind of like how we did here, all the colors that are approaching that area where it's bright, all right, it's gonna get kind of glared out a little bit, but I wanna warm it up so that it matches the temperature here, right? All of this will do that, okay? But you have to be kind of conscious of that already, so that you can actually, develop your plan to do that, right? And that is where, having a reference at hand will help you, because you can see on your reference that, oh, it's getting redder, all right? So then you adjust your mix so that you make it redder. And then you go, oh, it's getting more orangey. Okay, well then you adjust that mix and make it more orangey. The more you can have something to look at and compare what you're doing to what it is that you're using as a reference, the better you'll get at being able to not only paint what you see, but you can also develop a sense of how to make stuff up, right? Because you had that experience already, right? So that's a good thing. So, a lot of people don't want to do that. But I think for those that are first starting out, it's very, very helpful. I mean, that's how I started. for one thing, we lived in the city, so there wasn't a whole lot of places where there's like seascapes that we could appreciate. So I'm getting some cadmium red deep, putting it in my mix. Like so. Maybe use another brush. And some cadmium red medium.
Oh, Ron is on this morning.
Hey, Ron.
Troy,
hello. How you guys?
thanks for watching.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see that it's shifting to a redder hue. And
Yeah, you can kind of tell. I
Can
can
you?
tell.
Okay.
If I can tell, the world should be able to tell.
Okay. And we
Let's
can
see.
actually spread that over here a little bit so that it doesn't feel like there's a big departure.
What do you think? You know how
Go ahead.
in the old days,
You mean
when
like
people
last week?
yeah, 24 hours ago in the old days, people made paint by number kits, right? And you could buy them, and it was even oil paint you could do them with. But how do you think those were hand generated? All the kit that you bought when there wasn't really a computer to just whip them off. How do you think they made those? Like they hand drew it and then made it like a newspaper, pressed it onto the board?
I have no idea exactly how they did it, but if I were to do it, I would set up something very, very simple, like a coloring book setup, right? And then I think there's like different levels of how the level of expertise that you need. I mean, because you could do a paint by number using, let's say, I don't know, 6 colors.
Right.
Right. So it's rather primitive.
Right.
Right. But it's recognizable, right? You can see it's a tree. You can see, the trunk is brown. Maybe the beginner levels is just one color brown. That's it.
Right.
Right. Now, if you get to more advanced, then maybe they'll divide that brown into 3 different browns, right? Something like that. That's the way I would do it. Because the idea of it is to make it so simple that you just, it's like a recipe, right? Just follow the thing.
Right.
It doesn't involve creativity.
Right. And sometimes when I see real impressionistic paintings that have a lot of dabs of paint next to each other to create what it creates, that's what it reminds me of, is when you did a paint by number and they would say, all these little spaces, do a 1, a 2, a 3, and it's just these dots and dabs.
Well, I think it developed, right? I think that is not how it first started, but then they got more and more of an idea of like, you know what, we can make this thing a little bit more realistic by doing it, dividing it up, so it has nothing to do with creativity, right? On the user's part.
Correct, right?
Yeah, you're just following the thing. right? But what we try to do here is to reason out why we do what we do, right? So that beyond this painting, you can use the strategies, the philosophy behind why we're doing what we're doing, and apply it to your other works, and it should help you.
Ron says it's coffee time.
Is it? Okay.
It is for us.
Well, what time is it at where he is?
I don't know, Ron. Where are you, Ron? What time is it? It's only 9:10 for us. Oh, I think Ron's in Florida.
Ah.
It's what, 5 o'clock for him?
3?
9.
6 hours, yeah.
Oh yeah, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. It's wake up time. He might need a coffee. That's why Starbucks was invented. So you can go anytime you want.
I think it's the coffee maker that does that. Save you gas. Okay, we'll continue, maybe shift to more of an orange.
Yeah, Ron is in Florida. Confirmed.
Okay. finish off the bottom. It's kind of misty on the bottom, right? So we don't want the colors to be intense as it's approaching the wave, because when you do the wave is supposed to come forward, right? Mm-hmm. It's the star of your show, so you don't want it to be surrounded by colors that are bright, right? You want to tone that down, and this is the edge of that mist. So all this area here, knowing that the wave is going to be bright, I will take down the brightness of this mountain as it's approaching, so that there is no competition. Okay, that's the plan. So I'm gonna lower the chroma, the brightness of this land right here as it's approaching. I'm gonna make it not as bright, and I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter, so it appears as though you may be looking at it through some mist. Okay, not in a major way, and in fact, even if you don't do it enough, you'll get a chance to fix it later on. Okay, so but just the idea of that, you'd want to take advantage of this stage to do that now.
Are you able to paint where you just were sitting a little bit off to the left? Or is that too awkward?
What do you want me to do?
Just like that.
Okay, well, I got to mix my paint here first.
I'll agree to that.
Okay, thanks.
Was your canvas moving a little bit?
It's bouncing. Okay, so it got lighter, yeah?
Yep.
So now I'm gonna shift it in this section here. I'm gonna shift it to a more orangey, but still lighter.
Can you feel the consistency with your brush, if it's too thick or too thin when you're on that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It feels dry compared
to wet. Well, if you've been painting for a long time, all these little things that you may not have noticed in the past, you will notice later on, for sure. See, that's too light. I wanna... start here. blend it as best as you can. Okay.
It's cool. It has a nice little glow.
Well, knowing that it's going to be that way, I'm preparing everything around it to play into that.
Yeah, it's
right?
working. It's
Since,
working.
Oh yeah, see, since I knew it was going to be that way, I can prepare for it. Now, can I add this on later on? Yeah, I can. But I can do it now, so I'll do it now. And if it needs adjustments later on, then all I'll do is an adjustment. Like so, and then...
Got a good stretch of color on the palette today.
Well, yeah, because that's what it calls for today. Like so. Okay. So now what we'll do is we will detail this a little bit more. But maybe before I do that, I'll detail this first part that I did. So while we're, okay, that's what I'll do. While we're waiting for this part here that I just did to kind of get tacky a little bit, I will go ahead and work on these two land masses that I did last week and add some more details to it so that we can get some separation a bit more. But before I do that, let me feather this guy first.
There you go.
And that, gentlemen, is how we do that. All right. So now, like I said, let me do some detail work here first, so we can appreciate the separations and whatnot. Okay. Let's see. Is that gonna throw off your? I'm gonna work here.
No, it's gonna be fine.
Okay?
Do you have to get you mix some new colors?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, the greens
Yeah.
and stuff I got.
So I'm gonna readjust while you mix
Okay.
it up. Mix it up.
I'm putting in the light where the light is hitting these greens here, being mindful not to cover up all the darks, yeah? Because those are your shadows. So you'll need those to show off the parts that's getting hit by the light. And this is not the final highlighting that you're gonna do on there, because again, we wanna wait for the rest of it to come into the painting. And then once that happens, then we will make better decisions as to what parts we're gonna emphasize and then what parts are we gonna leave alone. But in the meantime, you can put your medium tones on there, and it'll separate you from the other land masses, right? You get more definition. The silhouette of it becomes more apparent, so that it's not all blending into each other. So that's always a good thing. Be mindful, don't cover up all your darks. In fact, what you want to be doing is you want to look at the parts that are already light, and you just want to hit those again and make them even lighter, right? Don't cover up your darks. Okay, that can be made a little bit better later, right? But this is already better than this. Okay. Little by little, and just don't be in a hurry to get it to be looking like it's finished already, because you got a long ways to go yet, right? So you just want to bring it along, nice and slow, knowing that at some point you're gonna put on here the parts that are really, really strong light hitting it, and if you have done this part correctly, the last part of it will just be a slam dunk. Okay, so that should be your goal, to just be patient, set it up, and then you'll realize you're alley-ooping it to yourself. Okay, now let's do this up front. lighting it up a little bit so that you can appreciate the parts that might get even lighter and brighter once I put the parts that are hit by sunlight directly. Okay. More definition. So okay, that's better. Now let's see if we can.
You definitely brightened it up.
Yeah, right. And then, but it's not done, right? There's a lot more we can do. But in the meantime, let's work on the rocks. I'm bringing some of this color in here so that they're all related.
We went to Lahaina on Friday, Roy and I did, to have a little daytime show and meet some clients and see the gallery for the very first time.
Yeah,
since it's been open. That was a pretty cool day.
It was great. Nice to see everybody again. There we go. So we brought some of that color back in here. And then later this week, we're going to Kauai.
That's right, on Thursday. So we'll have only 2 sessions this week that we'll film. Today and Friday. Friday the 9th. July's going to whip by.
Today's what, Monday?
Yep.
Yeah, and
Monday
then
the 5th.
And then we're going to do, what's the next one?
Friday.
Friday, so Monday and Friday. Okay.
Unless you want to drive to Waikiki with all your things. Hang out with me. I have a big pile of things that you need to do up here. You can't go anywhere. You're chained to the desk.
Thank you.
Got a big project sitting over there.
So, and then we could go into the green some more.
Oh, Tom sold a Diamond Head 5x7 in Waikiki yesterday.
Oh, really? I thought we didn't have any more.
No, we had that was called Pacific Gem.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3.
Okay, number 3.
Yeah. Oh. It's a series we're doing, Diamond Head series.
Uh-huh. Nice.
So I can see Pacific Gem number 4.
I thought he left.
Tom?
Yeah.
No, end of July. End of July.
End of July.
Yeah, end of July.
And he's going where? Seattle?
I am not positive, but that I know he's not going overseas in this short a time. That he can go. His wife can only take a certain amount of time off, so I'm thinking Seattle. That's kind of a spot they enjoy.
Uh-huh.
Reagan came home yesterday.
Oh, how was it?
She had an excellent time.
Great.
Really great trip.
Great.
And no injuries from climbing or anything, but she said once she did get stuck on a wall and she was crying because she was stuck. Like Jacob had to climb down and help her, like pull her up.
Like physically stuck or emotionally stuck?
Physically, she couldn't figure out how to climb to get past a spot.
Okay.
So emotionally became drained.
Technique-wise, she was stuck.
Yep.
But not like her arm got caught.
Right. Yeah, not physically in danger.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
And so he helped her out of it. And then the last 1 or 2 days, maybe last day she was there, so it could have happened on July 2nd or July 3rd. She was back at the grandparents' house and went mountain biking. Okay. But the mountain bikes, they told her, the mountain bike brakes sometimes don't work that good. The trail is pretty novice, but there's a couple turns you got to be ready for.
Uh-huh.
So she's like, okay, I'll go, and she wasn't thrilled about it, but she was up for it.
Sure.
But she did have a helmet on, but she's wearing slippers, right? And of course, there's a turn. She cannot stop. The brakes didn't work the way she wanted them to, so she had to bail over the hill and went through 2 trees. And, she was like, okay, voila, I survived. I'm okay. So it's slippery because it's on a little bit of an incline. And so she's trying to get her bike up the hill. And the 2 boys realize, Jacob and his brother, that she's not behind them. So they go back looking for her. And she's like, I'm okay. And then she gets to the top of the hill and looks at her arms, and both sides are just like road rash, scraped and gushing blood. She's like, oh, guess I'm not okay. So she got through almost the whole adventure without a scrape until the last moment.
Well, if the rice is not coming out, it's not that serious.
That's right. But she said it was cold. A couple nights she wished she had like a more of a sleeping bag, something warmer than just a blanket. But there were also, a couple nights that were incredibly hot in California too.
Yes.
So it was she said she'd be more prepared next time, just understanding it herself.
I would hope so.
Yeah, but she really enjoyed it.
Good. Terrible to go all that way and not have a good time.
Oh yeah.
Goodness.
No, it was great. She loved it. I think once you're on vacation, you just can't wait to go on another one.
Well, yeah.
You never want it to end. It's playtime.
If it turned out nicely, of course, nobody wants that to end. All right, for now we'll do this guy right here.
Great, I got a great view.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Again, what we're trying to do is create more volume in these trees. So I'm putting in the lighter values. Not the final one. We'll do that later after we got everything else situated. But this can stand a little bit of detail work. So that's what we're doing. More details, errant greens here and there, so it doesn't look manicured. That will go against you, so you don't want that. Okay. And then let's get a little brighter. Okay. Now, same thing, we're gonna define the rocks.
Oh, Sharon Jett got the vase.
Oh, good.
Yeah. She was fun.
Yeah, she's great.
That was nice. So many people came to see you.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. Get it.
Well, it's been over a year and a half, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I need to make a big sign, you know, the banner sign like they had. That one's from like how long ago?
How many gray hairs ago is that? I think that may have been from when they were in the other location.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I believe it.
That could be like my son now.
Yeah, so we'll have to decide, do you want another full-length shot of you, or do you want a shot of you at the easel with some images? How do we want that new banner to look?
I think you should ask those guys. Get their input. I think full size is always good.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll have to get some shots.
Sure.
Oh, maybe I have a good one from you next to Dreams. I'll have to see the size, the camera size, because that, of course, you need a nice big size.
Mm-hmm. I see more definition now, so it's better.
Let's roll it in and see what we got there. Oh, Matthias is on.
Hey, Matthias, how are you, man? Welcome.
Oh yeah, you can see it pretty good. You know what happens is the camera likes to hit what moves when I'm that close in, so it hits your paintbrush, it refocuses like every 5 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you know, I try to tell it where to hit, but it can't help.
Well, since when did anybody listen to you?
I know.
I get it at home, I get it at work. Nobody listens to me. And then they regret it.
Chopped liver.
Yep, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. Let's work on the green a little bit more now that we're up to this point already. Anyway. Okay. So let's take a little break.
Okay.
And what we'll do is we'll give the this paint here a little bit more time to set. And then after that, I'll underpaint the other mountain in the back.
All right.
Okay.
We shall return in
All right. We'll see you in a little while.